This is really interesting. Super Bowl winning head coach Mike Martz, greatest show on turf, that whole thing. Talking about head coaches developing quarterbacks these days.
There are a lot more good quarterbacks out there than there are guys that can coach them. You look at all these guys, these young kids that are interviewing for jobs, and they're system guys. They know systems, they know plays, and they get on the computer and they steal plays from other teams, which everybody does, which is no problem. They just run plays. And I can look at a game and watch and tell you the background of that coordinator in a heartbeat. And, you know, you have to be able to develop and teach a quarterback. And these young kids that come in the league, there's so many talented guys that come in and never make it because they've never been developed. And then you find a guy like at Chicago who knows how to develop a quarterback. And I think we talked about this before the season. I just said he's going to be a home run, and their quarterback's going to be good. He's a generational head coach. That's what you're looking for, guys like him, you know. And a guy that can develop and bring along that quarterback, and he's done that. And that relationship is really critical. So it's not so much whether it's a first round. They come from all different places, sizes, and shapes. You know, you have to know what one is to begin with, and then you got to be able to develop him and teach him.
And again, G. Bush, that's a guy that had success with Mark Balter, who was a late round pick, and then Kurt Warner won a Super Bowl with, he picked out of the Arena League. So there's some credibility to what he says.
He's right. You know, when you look at it, nowadays everything is super specialized. You know, you got kids that come in the league that physically are more ready to play than anything. They play 7-on-7 year round. They got throwing coaches. They understand different concepts. But when it comes to the minutia of it, why you think the offensive line play is what it is? You know, you know, when you talk about some of the great ones, like the Bill Callahans and some of these other guys who've been around the league, it's difficult to find guys who are in the weeds that understand lineman technique or any technique. So when you're talking about a quarterback, can you get a quarterback? We all know that you can call up a play, right? But are you a guy that can get C.J. Stroud and you can get him on the headset, or you down on the field and say, hey, C.J., calm down. You're doing way too much right now. You're swimming. Get back to your fundamentals. Your feet, your base is all over the place. I know you can throw from different arm angles, but why throw from them angles when you don't? It's a snowy game. You're throwing the ball, your shoulder. Look where your shoulders is pointing. The little different things. To not only can you call up a play, but can you be a whisperer when everything is chaotic? Can you get them to say, you had a terrible game? Let me show you why you had a terrible game. You show them 4 or 5 plays, you show them your footwork, and you go back and practice that week and show them, yeah, see, it was cool when you was doing it in practice, but you got sloppy footwork in practice. You're going to have sloppy footwork in the game. And in practice, we're not judging wins and losses, but you win and lose with the small details throughout the week, throughout wherever you're at. So he is correct. Everybody can call up a great play, but the guys who can not only tell them what's wrong, but build a confidence and build a relationship. See, the relationship is the most important part, because I need to trust you that what you're telling me is accurate. And then when you show me when I do it correctly, and you show me what the outcomes are, I can say, you know what? He may be a little tough on me, but you know what? Doggone it, he was right. When I do it this way, or he knows when I'm struggling, he's able to help me minimize, because all quarterbacks are going to struggle, because those guys get paid too, and you're not going to be perfect. But quarterbacks trust in you when you can minimize to certain things. Caleb Williams, to a certain extent, stats look the same, but it's the small things, the coaching, the coaching them up, even when they're playing well. You're on your top. The biggest people and the best coaches that I ever had. Coach Washington was at Ohio University. He's coached all over, for the Bears to the Panthers. Those guys coach you up. And they coach you up. And even when you do something well, you think you didn't do something bad, because that's how pinpoint they are on you, and making you say the standard is the standard. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. But he is right. Coach Martz is right. There's very few people who have that expertise nowadays. And if you can find one, hold on to them.